Hey, what is going on, my specialist SPC here in today's live stream? It's not really one that I honestly can say I'm very happy about, in all honesty. So if you guys don't really know what's going on, I'll catch you up here. Early yesterday, it was being said that Rian Johnson was walking away from his Star Wars trilogy, and he was leaving Lucasfilm. Well, later on last night / early on this morning, it was announced by Rian Johnson that he is still going to be doing his Star Wars trilogy. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not excited for it in any way, shape, or form. I'm really not. I mean, I wish I could say I was, because, I mean, there's been a lot of rumors going around lately, and of course, everybody knows right now that, the situation, I guess we can say, Star Wars is currently in right now. I mean, Rian Johnson completely destroyed the fandom. And it's really sad because I've already talked about this before in my Defending Star Wars video. If you guys have not seen it, I will probably eventually get it up here. So make sure you guys go check that out and you guys can see all that. But that is not what we're here to talk about. I'm not here to defend Star Wars today. I am here to talk straight up about Rian Johnson and his Star Wars trilogy. Now, everybody knows everything that happened with The Last Jedi. For a lot of people, they just absolutely despised it. Some people actually really enjoyed it. I'm kind of like the in-between guy. I mean, I liked it with some parts, but I really did not like it with other parts. And in all honesty, everybody I've been watching talking about this very same topic, there's not been any news at all since The Last Jedi came out in theaters, December of 2017. Nothing at all has been said about Rian Johnson's trilogy at all. And I did think it was kind of weird because earlier on this week, we got the news that the Benioff and Weiss, they were going to be doing their own Star Wars movie, but it is now being said that they are going to be doing their own trilogy. And I really thought that was strange because, like I said, nobody's heard from Rian Johnson at all. He completely shut off his Twitter account for the longest time because everybody was just bad-mouthing him for the Last Jedi. But I thought it was weird that they announced that those two were getting a spinoff, and also now they're getting a trilogy. So I was kind of thinking, like, what's going on with Johnson? Then, of course, big news broke. Like, the internet literally just completely exploded, completely just went nuts with them saying Rian Johnson walked away. And I will willingly admit, I was super, super excited. And then, unfortunately, the news broke last night that it is not true. Rian Johnson's trilogy is still happening. The way I can put it with this, just to kind of get this out in the open, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if The Last Jedi would have been Rian Johnson's first movie in his trilogy, I'd have been all for it. I'd have really enjoyed it. But we all know The Last Jedi was not received well by fans, especially when you go on to Rotten Tomatoes and it says 91% liked, and so it's certified fresh. But then you go and look, and only 46% of the people actually enjoyed the movie. So less than half of the people didn't even like The Last Jedi. But guys, there are going to be multiple things that I want to talk about, and as to why I personally think Rian Johnson should not have a Star Wars trilogy. Topic number one that I really want to get out of the way, I've already talked about it, was the overall reception for The Last Jedi. It was not received well by fans. This one movie, this one director destroyed everything. I mean everything. The fandom's pretty much almost no more. Like right now, Star Wars is in just such a chaotic mess right now. Especially too Solo, thanks to The Last Jedi. Solo was not received well by fans either. I still really think that they should have released it just a few months back, and it probably would have went over way better than it did. But everybody still had the really sour, really bad taste in their mouth for The Last Jedi, which, once again, is extremely disappointing to hear and see. Topic number 2. His treatment of the fans. If you guys have not seen, I'm pretty sure he's gotten rid of all the tweets by now because he had over 1,000, it said. He basically badmouths every single fan who brings up The Last Jedi. They say, oh, this movie was horrible. Nobody likes this movie. And he basically tells them, oh, shut up, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Your Snoke theories suck. Seriously? Like, we as fans kind of have our own, I guess you can kind of say that you're like, I guess I don't know how you're going to say it. We have our own reasons to theorize. I mean, we can pretty much do that. Like, we have pretty much the permission, I guess you could say. Like, if somebody wants to theorize that Snoke is Darth Vader, they can. If they want to think that Snoke is Rey's father or something out of this world, they can. If they want to say that Snoke is Jar Jar Binks, whatever, they can. They can say what they want. But don't have the audacity to say that your Snoke theory sucks. Like, why would you do that? You know how horrible that is? People paid good money to come and see your movie. Everybody was excited. I was so excited when I saw the teaser trailer for The Last Jedi. I was so excited. Even the real trailer. I was even more excited. You go to the movie and it's nothing like you thought it was going to be. It baffles me how somebody like that can just treat the fans and everybody at Lucasfilm is just fine with it. Like, personally, to me, I think this entire trilogy, the sequel trilogy, should have been given to J.J. Abrams. Because he even said he wrote an entire script for The Last Jedi. And basically, all Rian Johnson did, he just looked at it, and he's like, no, I don't like it. Threw it away completely. Ignored absolutely everything that JJ pretty much built up for him. I don't know exactly what was written. I don't know what the whole story is about that, but apparently Luke was supposed to have a bigger role. They were supposed to reveal a lot about Snoke. But according to what Rian Johnson keeps saying is he felt that Snoke didn't belong in the story, so that's why he just killed him off. And for me especially was the disrespect that he showed to Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker. I mean, Mark Hamill didn't even like the movie. Mark Hamill doesn't even call Luke Skywalker in the movie. He calls him Jake Skywalker. He says, that's not my Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker wouldn't just go and run off to some remote planet and sit there until he dies. Something bad like this would happen, he'd get back up on his feet, he'd go and he'd fight, and he'd try to save the day. Not, oh, I was going to kill my nephew. You felt a little bit of darkness, so you were going to kill your nephew? No. That brings me to my next topic while I'm in the middle of this rant. He cannot tell a story. I mean, he even flat out said it in an interview from years back. He says, if I was forced to sit here and write my entire script, I wouldn't be able to do it because I cannot write. I cannot tell a story. And I thought that was hilarious. Because after I watched The Last Jedi, I keep looking over here because the poster is over here. It just gives me some motivation. I guess I also got the book here. It's even more sad too, guys, when this guy, Jason Fry, can write a damn better book than The Last Jedi was at all. Sorry. This just infuriates me that Rian Johnson still has a job with Lucasfilm. If they would sit there and they would see all these videos, if they would read all the comments, all the tweets, everything like that, why keep him employed? Like, seriously. And as I said, the disrespect that he showed a lot of the characters in The Last Jedi. To me personally, I mean, great for Weiss and Benioff getting their own trilogy now. That's awesome. Good for them. Whatever they end up doing with it is up to them. I personally think, this is just me, I'm just throwing this out there because it's just something I think would be a little more interesting. Whatever Rian Johnson's going to do, scrap that. Fire Rian Johnson. And personally to me, I think you should be giving the trilogy to any of the other directors that have been out there. The only other ones you got are J.J. Abrams, which right now he's coming back for episode 9. He's in the middle of directing it right now as we speak. We've also got Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One. Fantastic movie. I personally think still it's the best of all of the Disney movies that have come out in the last 4 years. You got Solo. You got Ron Howard, which I'll get to that here pretty quick too. But I really think that any of them three should have their own trilogy. I really, really do. They knew how to tell a story. They knew how to get us as fans hooked onto the movie. The Last Jedi didn't do that. I mean, everything the way Rian Johnson did everything, I will still admit, I said this in my Last Jedi review, probably the best shot Star Wars movie of all time. I will willingly admit that. Best score, best effects. The story was just god awful. And I mean just terrible. So for me, I still really think Rian Johnson should not have this trilogy. If anybody disagrees with me, that's okay. Everybody's got their own opinion on things. I just think somebody who disrespects the fans, can't tell a story, and just disrespects characters like this and stuff. Why? Why give this trilogy to this man who you can honestly, personally to me, I don't think he likes Star Wars at all. He says it's been a lifelong dream of his to make a Star Wars movie. The Last Jedi didn't show me that. To me, it showed me that he knows nothing about Star Wars. He doesn't care about characters. He definitely did not care. He even said it. He did not care what we thought. Once again, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. Why? Why give this man a trilogy? I would rather them turn Solo into a trilogy. There's been rumors that there's going to be a Solo trilogy. Personally, don't do it. Have Solo be the first of the trilogy. And then have maybe like a Crimson Dawn Darth Maul. And then after that, I would rather see like bounty hunters. Like have a trilogy of just like the underworld of Star Wars. We don't need Jedi. Rogue One and Solo both prove that to me. We don't need the Jedi. We don't need the Sith. Personally, we don't need even really the Empire or the Rebellion. You didn't really get any of that in Solo. You only had a little bit of the Empire. I mean, both those movies showed you don't need stuff like that. And I still think that any of them other three that I've told with the directors, any of them they should have this trilogy. I really think Rian Johnson should not have this trilogy. And guys, it's kind of weird too. Like before I make these videos, I kind of have like a conversation with myself, kind of like I'm having with you. And it's always completely different from how I speak it out loud to how I just talk to myself about it. Because unfortunately, I had notes written down. I accidentally left them at work today, so I didn't really get to talk entirely about everything I wanted to talk about. But I guess let me know down in the comment section below, guys. What do you think? Should Rian Johnson still have this trilogy? Should maybe J.J. Abrams take it over? Should Ron Howard take it over? Should Gareth Edwards take it over? Should anybody else take this over? And also let me know down below, what are your overall thoughts of Rian Johnson and his treatment of the fans? Because that, to me, that right there shows he doesn't care. He's in it for the money. He really does not care to tell a proper story. If he would have made The Last Jedi his very first movie in the trilogy, I'd have been hooked. But it's characters I know. It's a story I don't like. It's beautifully shot, but overall, it just doesn't catch my opinion, doesn't catch my interest. So, anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this little rant video, I guess you can say. Maybe I'll have another one if I can get a couple more guys together, because I do want to start making videos like that instead of me just sitting here rambling and rambling on. I really want to start getting other guys' opinions. It'd just be a nice little fun conversation with people. So that is going to do it for this live stream. Let me know down below in the comments section what you thought about all this. And like always, you guys, like,